No, it says I am live now. Awesome, awesome. Let me put my chair down. Okay, so I'm not cutting off the top of my head. Happy Friday, TGIF. Let's turn it a little bit this way so we can see the logo. We have an amazing guest today. We will be talking about lessons and legacies of life. This is the Become Your Magic Power Hour, where we meet here every day, Monday through Friday, from 12 to 1 p.m. in order to ignite all the abracadabra moments to celebrate who we are. I got a little bit cute for y'all today. Won't you think? My husband was like, why you all bling? Why? Because we came to make our shine crystal clear, right? And so since we have nowhere to go, honey, we got to make it come alive where we at. You bring the moment to you. The moment doesn't happen, right? You create it. So who says you can't be cute in the house with nowhere to go, right? Maybe we've been shining too long for other people and we haven't even got used to shining for ourselves, right? Get dressed with nowhere to go just to make yourself feel like, yes, honey. Doesn't make you feel good? But yes, I'm super excited today because I'm going to be having my sister on at the 10-minute hour. Why do I always say the 10-minute hour? The 15 is at the 10-minute mark. We normally have our abracadabra guests at the 7:30 mark, 12:30 mark, depending on what power hour we're doing. But today, she has such an amazing book. Oh my goodness. Lessons We Learn, Legacies in Life, that she co-wrote. Miss Melissa Price, she co-wrote with her mom. It is like, when I say, you see how many pages I have. So we're not going to waste time today. We're going to take a deep dive into this book so that you can get make your soul smile, make you excited, make you realize, just how beautiful the lessons we learn. I say turn your lessons into blessings, right? So people turn their blessings into lessons. Let me see something. So I'm going to find myself now so that I can share and be focused like I need to be. That's my delay. So I'm going to share to some of my group. So like I said, if you are watching in the I Choose Me Bling Boutique, hello to you guys. You can't share because that is a private group. If you are watching from the my YouTube page, hello to you guys. I Choose Me #NoMoreExcuses YouTube page. It is a page that I have for years, and now I'm just kind of getting into nurturing that because I recognize that in order for us to get what we need and what we desire, we have to nurture it. We have to be conscious. We have to take the time to make it grow into what we want it to be. And so that's what this is all about. Coming every day to get that power up, that source, right? As God feeds us, we feed each other. He will never come down and say, here I am, that thing you're asking for, here it goes. He's going to send somebody with the answer to your question, right? Because he's going to put it in their mind, which then they're going to follow their heart to you. And then you will get into the room to be able to receive whatever God has waiting on you. And so when we be intentional about the spaces and places that God puts us in, because we know how intentional he is, oh my goodness, we can change the way we show up in every single room, because we'll walk in the room like we came for something, right? We came for somebody. Somebody came for us. And so that's what it's all about, abracadabra, baby. That's what it's all about, is about recognize that we came for you. Somebody came for you. And so every time we show up, like I say, I love that saying, you never leave the same way you came. When you think about it, it's about understanding that you're either dropping something off or picking something up. And so make every room intentional. And so we're going to have an intentional conversation about some of the lessons that maybe we didn't realize were so powerful, right? That some of the lessons that we didn't realize was actually the pivotal moment in our lives, right? Hello to you, So we got to recognize that being intentional, being about our conversations that we're having, right? Being about God's anointing, right? Because you've been anointed through all of those trials and tribulations, all of those lessons become blessings when you recognize that it was all for who you were called to be. It was all for how you were intended to show up. It was all about your shine, that soul print. And so, what are the lessons that we take for granted because we don't recognize just how much power is in it? Because we don't recognize just how beautiful that lesson was for who we are and where we're going and who we were designed to be. So understanding your magic and walking in it and being intentional about walking through the things that have taught you and made you and molded you into your greatness. So that's why we're going to talk with Melissa Price for a whole, I'd say 40 minutes if we can before we end out, because there are so many different pieces of this book that had me. I mean, I was in tears. I was laughing out loud. I'm still halfway through the book with my full page. Not halfway. Actually, I think I got 10% of the book left. And these are the things, when I say we check into ourselves, these are the things that we should be doing when we check into ourselves. We should be feeding our minds, right? And you can watch TV and feed your mind, right? It depends on what it is you're watching and how you are feeding into that thing and what it is doing for you and what you are, how it's cultivating you, right? Because let me tell you something. I'm not really an avid reader, to be honest. I am more of a visual, right? I love movies. Like since I was young, I didn't really know songs unless it was attached to a movie. That was how I saw, which is probably why I create pictures in my head, because I'm a movie. Like it's beginning, middle, end. It has to be. My poetry is beginning, middle, end. And so life is a movie that we're writing. It's the thing that we're starring in. The question is, how are you showing up for your star role? What will they say about the lessons and the legacies that you left behind when you have your last curtain call, when that light doesn't come on that day, when this breath that we get to experience right now, to be in the presence in each other's space, right? Places, right? When that no longer is available to us, what will they say about who we are, what our light meant, right? So that's what's so important, to be intentional about your lessons so that they can become the legacies that you leave behind, so that your legacy can hold on to the foundation of belief and love and just different things that matter, different things that are needed. So how have you been doing? Hello. Hey, Brittany. Brittany says, hello, beautiful people, to you all. Brittany has been shouting me out today. Let me tell you, I know for sure that Brittany has been enjoying the Become Your Magic Power Hour, because she wants people to know that if you're not here at 12 noon, Monday through Friday, you are missing your blessing, right? So I'm so glad that she is feeling what God is doing through me. And I'm so glad that we all showed up. But we are getting close. Without further ado, I see that my queen sister in the green room, she is sitting. I see she looks eager and ready to join us. And so I just want to say that this queen right here that I am inviting on, Miss Melissa Price, I got the pleasure to meet her for the first time at my book launch, 365 Days of Loving Yourself to Life. We met spiritually way before we ever met physically, and that's how intentional God is, right? He has set up a time and appointment for the anointings that are going to come into your life and spill over on you. And so while I was feeding her, she took all that energy and she came back and fed me back. She has been such a blessing, and she has become a sister, her mom, just her whole family, her husband, my family. And we say that when the PPs get together, let me tell you, energy is filled in a room, love, laughter, and first of all, authenticity. And what she represents is an authentic love. I say she is the usher to the soul. I don't care where she is ushering in love, excitement. She's supportive. She is everything to everybody else. And I'm so glad that my interjection in her life allowed her to start to begin everything to herself. And because she became everything to herself, she is about to share with us her latest first, but certainly not last book called Lessons We've Learned and the Legacies of Life. So without further ado, Abracadabra, we are inviting on Miss Melissa Price. Boom, boom. Now, if I had the lights, they will be all behind you, all behind you. Come on now. How are you, Queen? I'm so happy to finally have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. And like my cheeks hurt so bad. I've been sitting back there just like smiling, cheesing from ear to ear. I gotta hire you to do a commercial for me. You seriously, that made my heart sing. I'm gonna have to like rewatch the replay. That got me close to crying.
William says I'm getting Melissa and he's getting his Melissa and Precious fix.
There we go. Yes, Bill, bring it on.
Bring it on.
You get it. You get some on Sunday too.
So Melissa, I need you to introduce yourself to these amazing people. They need to know who you are. Your roles and titles, of course, first. We like to honor that, but then they need to know who you are.
Well, my name, as you said, is Melissa Price. I am 36. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. I've been in Charlotte, North Carolina. I moved down here for work 12 years ago. So I've been enjoying the South for over a decade. Just a few months after moving down here and starting work, I met my soon-to-be husband at that point. And we kind of have been together and rocking it out ever since. We've got 2 little girls. They're 7 and 9. Their names are Charlotte and Sophie. They're also special parts of the book as well. But other than that, so I'm a mom. You got that. I'm a wife. Those are pretty big hats to wear alone. But I have been homeschooling my kids since the beginning. So yeah, that's another role. You get to be teacher, mom, and wife. And then after I had kids, I just like clocking in at a normal job really wasn't my thing. I tried it for a long time, even after I was homeschooling with them and whatnot. But I felt like I wasn't present enough, and I was just too much time away and too many things going on at once. So I kind of set my foot out on the entrepreneurial path. And like I said, like you said, I was very, very, very fortunate enough to cross paths with Precious. And we met at her book launch. And before that, I had followed her online on her page, and she had done so many amazing like coaching episodes and soul stirring conversations and reading from her book. She just inspired me instantly. And yeah, I brought my husband, I believe, with me to that as well. And yeah, that was
yes, you did. It was the first time I met your husband. I met you. When I say it was such an experience, I'll never forget that room, that moment, the time, and just your energy. Your energy has been constant. Your love has been consistent. And so that's why it's no surprise to me that your book was so full of the details, right? Because I think in life we forget about the details. And the details are the lessons. The details really are the lessons. They are the thing that usher in the greatest parts of the story. They are the light that we shine.
Absolutely.
And so what made you decide to, you and your mom, oh my goodness, let's talk about your mom first.
Mama B, she's a Bodell. I used to be a B before I got married too, so you can call her Mama B.
Mama B.
Mom is, well, she's, growing up, we had our differences, I was a little bit more of a daddy's girl in my young years, but once I kind of hit the teenage world, me and Mom really started hitting it off. And we just have gone through a lot of stuff. And I've been down here. We became very, very best friends, probably, like I said, maybe when I was in high school, we really started connecting and clicking. And then I moved down here. So we had a lot of distance between us. And that was rocky for a while trying to keep up, but it eventually kind of blossomed into us. We made a commitment to talk once a day, every day. And this was going on for years. Sometimes our conversations were 10 minutes. Sometimes they were 2 hours and 10 minutes. We had actually, when COVID started over here in March, we were doing like comparisons on all the minutes and texts on our phone bills, like how they went way up. But the book was really birthed off of all of the conversations we've had, like talking about the people we've run into, those people who have been like little earth angels that just happen to waltz into your life, the people that have inspired you, those really, really down moments where you feel like you're at rock bottom and then something miraculous happens or someone miraculous shows up, and so it just became a part of our daily routine of just talking and sharing. And after spending a lot of time with you and watching you grow, and you coached me a lot, we decided, go for it.
Go for it. Like
Why not? We got all this stuff.
Can I just say this? Can I just say this? I think the thing that brought the most joy to me when I was reading it is the beauty in your poetry. You are such an amazing, your mom, like I was like, do you believe that she had this locked up, that she was, oh my goodness, the beauty in our gifts. I think we don't even recognize, because we've been taught so long to struggle. We've been taught so long that if you need something, you work hard, you got to work hard, and then life happens. So when I see how effortlessly we can write words that are the most important part of living, right? They are the key. They are essential. Words are everything. That is how the world goes round.
Gift,
Period. Mm-hmm. So my God, to have these words penetrate the way they do, like those seeds of thoughts. So as you're reading, oh my goodness, you first of all, you stop feeling like the world is against you. Right. We're all in the pot of transformation. Like everybody is being shook and pulled, and the more you read it, the more you're like, oh my God, this is just a process, right? Because some of us are blessed to know it, but some of us need the evidence. And with so many different testimonies of evidence, is like, how could you not stand up in your story? Right. How could you not make your voice matter? So we're gonna have to read some of these. Listen, I got a couple that I'm about to be like this on page such and such. So if you got your book, you can read along. If you don't, you definitely need to be at you see the link? lessonsandlegacies.company.site is up at the top as well in the post. You need to have your copy of this. Take it from the soul coach, who is always looking for something new, something extra to feed me. I know for sure this is going to be a game changer in the world. And I'm just so glad
that means so much coming from you, because you've been, we're sisters, yeah. We have come a long way, and we're sisters, but you've been my Oprah. You have been my inspiration. So to have the compliments from you, you have turned me inside out, the same as my mom. Anytime I've ever gone back to Michigan, we always had your live. Remember when you were doing the radio shows with Lala?
Oh yeah.
She got to watch those, and she got to meet you and all this stuff. You help people find their abracadabra. You help them flip their switches, and it just the way you build people up, and the way that you just put that. I wanted to say push, but you don't. You encourage and motivate people to go out there and do that. And I'll tell you, the best part of doing this book was just really being able to be part of everybody else's words. Like you said, you find that we're all in the same pot. The book is 5 chapters. It's chapter 1 is love, 2 is faith, 3 is laughter, 4 is resilience, and 5 is success. Who doesn't have a story or a testimony in all those? Those are just we're all traveling on the same road, and our experiences in these different areas might be different, but it's our differences in those that we need to share with one another so we can help one another. I can't tell you how many stories you've told that I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. And I was carrying some shame and some baggage, and
that's right.
And through a lot of your stories, just you, I've shed that, and I'm not the only one, because There's your proof.
There's your proof. And
There's
that's
a
what I
lot.
said is the apple that we eat from somebody's tree, and then we plant that seed in order for somebody to eat from our tree. Because I even say that's why words are so powerful, because even like you say, I'm your Oprah. And when I think about Oprah, it was like she never even met me. So I could imagine being able to be like, listen, when I was in that house and I was raising those kids and I thought that nobody valued what I was doing, and that I got, that my light, I did my light, and that, I knew what I wanted, and all these things that I had in store. I was living a life that I didn't plan, but I loved it because God was planning for me, right? He was planning my future. And so all of those things that's why life is hindsight is 2020. And so it's like, I want to tell you from my experience, because I thought I was forgotten, but I wasn't. I was being processed to my yes, right? And so that's why we keep on saying, what is the yes? The yes is you being processed into your story, because you have permission for what I gave you. Now it's like, what do you want to do with it? Because look what Vivian says. Hey, Vivian, she said she loves your paintings. We cannot forget about the beautiful pictures and painting. I mean, oh my, that tree. Oh my God. Like, y'all don't know. Well, matter of fact, let me find one. And then we got even artwork from the kid, like her beautiful kid, like to take something and make everybody matter. You hear me? To make everybody matter is what is so special in this book. Is what's so I think transcendent, because you said that I don't just want to take my perspective and assume that everybody can understand, but I want to take everybody's perspective so everybody can understand that there's a lane for you, because that's what's so important about us coming together. Because when we come together, we feel there is no space that goes unnoticed, because everybody doesn't go through everything. But when we relate, we build relationships that help form those other parties that are going to come in, who's got another part of the story, who's going to add extra to the whole picture that is God, right? Because we didn't never forget that story, that we are in the picture of God, and that everybody has a special piece. And if you bring that etched out piece that's yours, oh my goodness. Come on now. Go ahead, Melissa. I'm just so excited about the book that, look, I'll be going on and on. I do one way. I'm just like talking. I know I got to do a whole, because I just want, it's so many parts.
Well, it's like I said, the cool thing about the book is that it does show how we're all related. And what mattered to me so very, very much was for all the people who, what is the word? Contributed content, whether it was quotes, or if you weren't the one who wanted to write and you wanted to submit art, you could do that. But it was to show from ages 4. My youngest contributor was 4 years old, and my oldest was 94. And we have people from London. We have one person from Africa. I've got a few people from London, people from all over the US, people who are single, people who are parents, people who are retired, people who are soldiers, people who are coaches, people who are authors, people who are yoga instructors, like boys, girls, men, women, children, contractors, comedians. I have a DJ in there. Like they're just to show that young, old, black, white, rich, poor, doesn't matter, boy, girl, you all have
you name it.
You have a story. We all learn our lessons, right? We all have lessons.
Yes, but we're all in school.
The books show it. The point is to show that there's a blessing in all of it. Everything, like you've said this so many times, and I stand by it. Every experience you go through matters. It makes you you, and it has a purpose. Even I go back to, I also was molested. I've had sexual traumas happen to me. I've had really bad abusive relationships. I've had abuse even within the family. I've been fired for drinking on the job. Like I've had all kinds of I've had major health issues and surgeries that I've had to go through, all kinds of these weird things that happen in your life. And you think in those moments, like, oh my God, could it get any worse? Why is this happening to me? I'm ashamed of this. I don't want to show it. Who would respect that? But like I said, when you take the time to embrace it, every little bit. Like if I didn't go through those things, I might not have the courage and the strength to help somebody else, or to help my kids, or to go through the next hurdle that comes my way. And shaming and suffering in silence, and which I'm wearing my suffering in silence thing.
Highway to purpose, baby.
Highway to purpose. You know, you can't hide your light like that, because somebody else needs it. I was that girl that was sitting there swallowing all that stuff until I heard you, somebody I look up to. I'm like, oh my God, she went through that too. And she went through that too. And look at her now. Like, why should I be hiding? You know? So I think that's a really big, important part of what you do. And, you know, growing alongside of you through the process of this book, and my mom can say the same, really kind of helped us focus and hone in on what we wanted to accomplish with this book. And the goal is just to make everybody feel worthy, to show everybody that each thing you go through is so special, so unique, no matter if it's good, bad, or somewhere in between. It matters, and you shouldn't hide it, because that's part of your sparkle. So
it's how you make your shine crystal clear, baby. And that's what I love. Brittany said something so powerful. Look here. Brittany just launched something, Melissa. That means we're going to have excuses.
Yes, we should.
We have excuses to go to the lake by ourselves with our cocktails. You two should write a book together. I think that would be I know it would be a beautiful book. We will definitely put it on our list to do. We'll get ourselves a deadline and we will punch it out. Why? Because what we recognize in this time is that in order to get the dreams that we desire, we just got to walk toward them. It's as simple as saying, this is what I want. And all it requires is me figuring out how to get there, because where there's a will, there's a way. And so a will means a testament, right? When somebody writes a will, they're saying, this is my decree, this is my test, this is what I want. So when God says, well, there's a will, there's a way, that means when you testify, when you make a testament in your head, in your mind, in your heart, and you commit to that, and you say, listen, this is the will for my life, then God will make ways. He will send provisions, right, for your vision, right? Because the provisions is once he take the shield off. And so all the time, like I said, we go, when our parents used to always say, you're only asking for it because you saw it. We get in relationships with ourselves, I choose me, in order to see what God is waiting for us to ask him for. Because the minute I can ask for it, it means I see it. Now I know where to go to get it.
Absolutely.
So he doesn't give us anything incomplete. And once we recognize how complete the story is, the more we can turn our lessons into blessings. And the legacies that are left. So tell me, what is one of your favorite things? And I want you to read us something from this book, because I don't even think they understand what I mean when I say this right here is something that you want a part of your collection. You can pull it out when you having a company, when you're having company over, when you're having a good night, when you're having a family day, when you're having I need to lift myself up day. This will be a great guide in your 30-day I'm hiring myself challenge. Because do you know I am going to spend time with this book after I read it, because the only thing that makes something better than the first start is implementing it. So when I can see it in my mind, then I don't have to remember. It becomes a part of my consciousness. And so when we start to feed ourselves with conscious things that we want to multiply in our lives, we'll sit back and it'll look like abracadabra moments, because every moment leads you to the dream. So while we're walking there, every step is like, oh, we're not getting there. And then you arrive and you're like, oh my God, I have a whole shop. Oh my God, I have a whole book. Because you were in action for your attraction. And every one step that you cried over, that you sweated over, oh my God, that you had to be like, you had to plan for your success. Oh my God. But doesn't tears water that seed? Because you're in the dirt. You're in the dirt. So he's like, I need you. You need that water, baby. That water is going to cultivate you. And then when you get up and you finish, you'll write 10 more behind this. Because once you get over the first hurdle of knowing that this is no longer your problem, it's no longer a problem. And so trusting in the process is eliminating your boundaries. Come on, you have no limit. And so now I could bust out 10 books now, because I realized that once I got the concept of just following through, if it meant I wrote a page a day. So in 2 months, I had a book. That's the hard part, is committing to the journey of clocking into you for what you deserve in this life, for what you already paid for. So we got the course, but we don't understand the value.
Right. And yes, it is quite a journey doing that. And I love that Brittany we should write a book together. That would be so much fun. And I don't know if they know or not, but I wrote the foreword for Precious's children's book, and Precious has made an appearance many times in this book. Plus she got part of the dedication as well. So we're already like on our way there.
We're on our way there,
we
right?
just gotta do and commit to doing it. And like that was,
I could only imagine what the title would be. Oh, that would be
it'd have to come. I'm notorious for titling towards the end. I don't know. Like, because it changes, you start with one thing and then it evolves and grows and becomes something. I could have.
And listen, that's what's so funny. I'm actually backwards. I always have a title, like a poem. I'll get a title and I'll have to skip. Like I did a Barack Obama poem, but I wrote the title 2 years before he was president.
Oh, wow.
So it was called Supreme Moment of Destiny. And a poem, always a title, and a poem just comes like 15 minutes. Yeah. So the title came, I was watching Oprah, and that title came 2 years before, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what this is, but I don't force a poem. So I had to skip pages, and when I knew poem came, I went back 2 years to write in that poem. So it's like, I get the title before the story, you get the story before the title. So I think this will be a gift made in heaven.
It will work. We will balance. We will perfectly balance each other. We just have to do it every day. That was part of it. I have to say, like, one of my biggest shout outs went to my family when I wrote this book, because I mean, I too, like, words just kind of spew forth sometimes. I've had many of those where it's like 15 minutes and all of a sudden there's a masterpiece, and where the heck did that come from? Thank you, Jesus. But like, it was very committal. Like, you had to make sure every day you check in, you clock in, you do your assignment, you do that. If it's only 1 hour a day, if that's what you got. And I had to do that with this book, because I'm teaching my kids, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm doing everything in the house. Also, my mom doesn't have a computer, Wi-Fi. She has a flip phone. So she would handwrite me stuff, mail it to me, and then I would have to get in the computer, transcribe, edit, build, all this other stuff. So yeah, and Brittany knows this too. Bill, I'm sure, knows this too. Y'all, everybody who's been an author or has written a book or anything, articles, if you're a blogger, I mean, you have to be super duper intentional about checking in every single day. And that's also a big important part of keeping the flow going too. Because if you check out for even, I know I've checked out sometimes for a half a day, or I've skipped a day, and it's like all my momentum was gone for a week. I'm like, what's happened? But yeah, so I would definitely.
But I love how you gave examples of eliminating the excuses.
Oh yeah. You have to.
Well, we give ourselves a million excuses not to come follow through for us. Now, if somebody calls on us, honey, we ain't gonna have no excuse. You need it by what deadline? How can I serve you? Oh, I'm there. But for us, oh my God, we have excuse. Oh, this and my life is too full. No, you got 720 hours a month every 30 days. Don't tell me what you don't have time to do with the person that is with the person all the time. You never leave your side. So out of 720 hours, you got to eliminate the excuses so that you can remove the lid and limit your those boundaries. Stop it. So I love that. Look at William. That would be an amazing book. Look, we late.
I know it. We should make that 2021 or 2021.
2021. I think I know it. Come in. Yes, how can I help you?
And just think how much we could write it at the lake.
Yes, that's what I said. Give us an excuse to go to the lake.
We'll have weekend retreats at the lake, weekend writing retreats. It will be fun. Girls night,
Girls night.
Well, I would love to. I have 2 that I would like to read. Unless you have one. You can read one and I'll read one.
Yep. And then I'll read one and then you read one again. I don't even know which one I want to read, so you go ahead.
All right. Well, the first one is actually, and the reason I'm choosing to read it is because of your show and your what was it, 2020 countdown, where we did the butterfly effect and transformation and the X factor and all that. When my mom wrote this was a current one she wrote. Some of the pieces that are in this book we had written a couple years ago, and a lot of it's new, and it's a mix, of different stages and phases of our life. But this was a new one that she wrote, and it's called Butterfly. And every time I hear butterfly, I think of you because you are very much into the transformation and cocooning and what you become, and the season and stages and developments of all that. So I'm going to choose to read that one first for you. So, all right. It's called Butterfly, and it's by my mom, Renee Bodell. There is so much forgiveness in desperation. Surreal and unexpected, it is a lifeline when you feel like you're drowning. With your last bit of strength, you grasp onto the miraculous rope tossed from above, hoping it will be your rescue from impending doom. Weak and grasping for air, you clench tightly and refuse to let go as you're lifted, pulled, hugged, and nudged. Hope is finally in sight. The regrets of yesterday suddenly dissipate as you become present with the realization that you are meant for tomorrow. As a river ripples, so do acts of kindness, selflessness, and courage. This is our time to press the reset button and embrace the spirits we were born to be. Cast out that lifeline and don't let go, as fear will turn into gratitude, doubt into faith, and solitude into freedom. Much like a butterfly, it is humanity's time to transform. We only cocoon for self-preservation as we grow and develop. At just the right moment, we are all released, fully equipped with the perfect instincts and brand new wings. Now is the time to fly fearlessly, fly free. The end.
Let me tell you. Look, I just went. My eyes was closed. I'm like, wow, 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 wow.
I like that one. I feel that's like, again, so my mom's 50, she just turned 58, and has had a incredible journey. I think she has so many experiences to share, both up and down, good and bad, whatever. But she's a bleeding heart like myself. We love people. We love our journeys. We love experiences. We love the junk that we have to go through because it doesn't define you, but it helps grow you,
Yes.
Can't be better unless you're broken down a little bit. And this poem is, or well, I guess I don't know if it's a poem or more of a writing, but she paints such a beautiful picture of feeling like you're drowning and everything's kind of caving in around you. Like I feel suffocated in the beginning of that poem, like I'm being straitjacketed kind of, and then like the turmoil of wanting to crawl out of that hole, and then realizing that you're actually in a warm blanket, just being processed, just growing, just practicing that pause a little bit, so that when you are rebirthed and reborn, you're brand new, you're transformed, and have no fear, and be you and fly. So that's one of my favorites of my mom's, and I think it complements your messages. So
yes, that's why I was looking through here like, ugh. It just feeds me. It's like my, it's almost like what you need to be nurtured. You're always seeking that. So it's like I found another source of food because we pour out and we need to be refilled. And that's why it's good to know what feeds you, because then you know where to go when you need a refill. And so knowing the type of gas you acquire is the key to making sure you're never on empty. And so I'm just so grateful to find another greater gas that I know will help me feed my fire, right? And so that's why I'm just like, I'm in awe.
Thank you.
The poem I want to share was written by you. Okay. On page 34, which equals 7, completion, which is my favorite number.
That is.
No coincidence, right? God is so intentional, especially when I'm looking, because what would life be like if you tried to find God's clues in everything? Of him saying this was just for you. You make the world make you feel special through God's eyes, because you're always trying to find ways that he's whispering and kissing all over you. So how can you not feel love when you're like, oh, he did that for me? Oh, God did that for me. That's the type of attitude we have to have. But this poem is called Just Look Up.
I've never really heard anybody read my stuff other than my
Oh, this is
either,
gonna be
but I
so.
like
I'm gonna
that.
keep you on the screen. We want to see you. Look,
Which
you
is
don't get to come out
funny.
the screen. We're honoring your abracadabra right now. It's all about you. You feed so much. You are the usher to so many. You show up, and this hour today is about you, Queen, because you deserve to be honored for all the stuff that goes unnoticed, unchecked, and we just don't celebrate each other's light enough. And so I'm overjoyed to be able to be in the seat to honor you as you honor so many. Right, because I know God is going to kiss me for this too. Because he knows that his baby needs to feel what she needs to feel for what she produced. Because we need to celebrate at the highest level our accomplishments in each other, through each other, and with each other. You should never have to feel like, oh, I'm talking about my book too much. So you need to talk about it every day, all day, the way you talk about everybody else's projects.
It's
You
hard.
hear me? Everybody else's projects. You are the top person to promote. So we all should be promoting you right now because it's your time to be honored for you standing up in your story. So this poem that I love is called Just Look Up. Just when you think it's going to be all right, you didn't give up and you won the fight. A blow comes through and knocks you down, stealing your thunder and seizing your crown. We all make mistakes, but this one was bad. It dampened my spirit and rendered me sad. I struggle and fight for what's right every day, but falling short is common this day and age. I know I'm favored by the Father above. So what can I do to portray his great love? Try as I might, I seem to just feel at finding the wind to propel my sail. Life is a journey, but it's ups and downs. And what would it be without laughter and clowns? Without screw ups and sadness, worry and grief? It's all these moments that season our beliefs. If we were created by a love so pure, so unconditional, magical, unthought of, and obscure, how small are the problems that eat us alive? They haunt us and taunt us, yet push us to strive. No matter the mountain, the rift, or the valley, when God speaks his word, his troops always rally. You're never alone, so don't ever give up. When you need a sign, please just look up. It could be sunny one moment and then stormy weather, but when he comes through, it all comes together. In the midst of the rain and sorrow and pain, if you feel like there might be nothing to gain, just look up. This simple act of faith is all you need to do to be reminded every day of what he promised you. There will always be a rainbow high and above because he has afforded you undying love. So if you're feeling lost or cold, forgotten, meek, or mild, remember he created you and you're his precious child. If your feet have failed you, find the strength to back it up. Come on now. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Uh-oh.
How powerful was that? If your feet has failed you, find the strength to back it up. I don't know what that did for you guys, but that right there had tears when I read it the first time. Because I
You
just
got
imagined what we were missing all this time. I just imagine what the world is about to get because you transformed into your butterfly and that you embrace the colors and that the shame that we carry are the colors that are on our wings when we fly. It is the many people who we will connect to, the people who will see us flying above and believe. Because I tell people all the time, when you are that caterpillar crawling low, a caterpillar is as low to the ground as you can be. You're talking belly to earth. To then be transformed into being high as it can be, the most beautiful thing that is floating above. And do you understand that that butterfly had no idea that it would become a butterfly? That caterpillar who is crawling right now looking at butterflies, and we look at internet and we look at people actually showing up in their gift as a caterpillar. For anybody who's watching, Melissa, and listening to me, know that we cried our books out.
Oh,
We
yes.
sacrificed our time. We pulled into those banks that we invested in, right? Because she thanked her mama and her husband and just the people who dropped seeds and who showed up, because those are the banks we bank with. And when she needed to show up for herself, she went to cash out on those banks. So when you build a foundation with people and you're suffering in silence by yourself, that's why I said no more, sis. And it doesn't mean queen, sister, friend. I'm talking to souls who suffer in silence, afraid to ask somebody that I need your help so that I could do me, so that I can choose me, because they will gladly fill in a position for a position you have held for so long. And so understanding your worth is being as grateful for yourself as somebody is to you. And so these tears that I cry for you, queen, is because of how much you have blossomed. I am so proud of you. I am so excited for you. I am so grateful that God has put us on each other's journey. And I'm just so glad that my gift, I'm telling you, you make me look at that little girl and say, little precious, look what you paid for. Look what you paid for. And you'll be able to look at that little girl when these people's lives are changed and say, little Melissa, did I make you proud? Did I make all the hell you went through worth it? And so every time you show up in your abracadabra, you're telling that little boy or girl, look what I did with your pain. I have turned it into a beautiful masterpiece of power that will infiltrate, inspire, and change a generation. Now, that is why you were born. That is why your pain matters. And that is why we must remove the shame and get in our lane and know that you are bigger than your roles and title. You are on assignment. And this, my dear, is such an assignment fulfilled. I can't imagine what's coming. But to see what just cracked out first, I'm eager to see how deep that well goes, because the treasures are buried deep. And so we got this much at the surface. Good God Almighty. We don't know what the next 10 years is going to bring. I tell you, they're not ready for the colors that your butterfly possess.
I'm ready. I'm ready to put it out there.
Oh my goodness.
It's been such a beautiful process. And I don't know why the heck I ever put makeup on for your shows.
Listen, that's why I just don't wear
it all off.
Lipstick is all I could do, because I already know, honey, she can't make it past nothing that means something. Come on, honey.
I got to start investing in waterproof masks.
I need to make a waterproof line. When you come for a soul store, please wear your waterproof makeup.
It's the shine. We call it the shine line.
The shine line.
We shining.
We shining. William says, amen, Melissa. Just look up my sister. I love it. Karen says, amazing. We are going into the holidays. Yes. We are really serious about empowering somebody's life. If you are really serious about giving somebody a seed that will multiply. See, we buy inanimate objects that lose its value the minute you get to them. You need to start nurturing those seeds of thoughts. Why? Because those are the seeds that will grow up to become the legacies of life. And so we're going to leave a legacy. We got to be intentional about what we leave behind. So, oh my goodness, girl. Listen,
well,
we're gonna have to do another show.
Can I read one more?
This is fun.
Can I do one more?
Please. Please.
Because I think it might be a good way to end out,
To
perhaps.
end up.
Perhaps, I don't know. We can go all day long, you know. You and I can keep going all day long. All right. So the one I read, the butterfly, was from the resilience chapter. Yours was from faith, I believe.
Yes.
Or yeah. This final one that I'll do is from the success chapter, and it's on page 100. We're moving into hiring ourselves. We're looking for success. You know, there's things that can knock you down through the process, right? Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a double-edged poem here. And I wrote this one recent. This was wrote it this while I was writing the book, so it's current. Mm. All right, it's called Successes in the Messes. Mm. This is very much about my life. So all right. It's a labor in love when I work for free. And sometimes it feels like nobody sees. Even when my words are as clear as can be, I need some time to just stop and breathe. When I go all day for everyone else and ask for a moment just for myself, how quickly it gets put back on the shelf. Staring at this gallery, my desires reflecting back at me. I see my story in these jars that hold the triumphs to my scars. How can I ever do it all? If I try too hard, I will surely fall. How can I come to find success when all of my blessings are arranged in a mess? I take each jar down one by one and begin to dust the shelf. As I spritz and polish, I think aloud, I should care this much for myself. I look at the first jar good and hard as I wipe away weeks of dust, and in it I saw my daughter's smiles that resulted after a fuss. I sighed to myself and replaced the jar. It began to shine brightly just then. I pick up the next one and look inside. The reflection I see is a friend. We drifted apart a long time ago, and the reason we did is unclear. But within the jar is a memory of drying each other's tears. Third jar in hand and my spirit awake, I spray it and dust it with speed. Inside it, I see all the money I wish for, and then look up and see what I need. The fourth jar holds much more than just wealth, and I cringe as I dust off this one. It contains all the burdens concerning my health, many of which were not fun. Yet I'm standing and breathing in front of these jars. For that, I'm feeling quite wealthy. Complete with an array of scars from the past, I am here in this moment, now healthy. Staring at this gallery, my desires reflecting back at me, I see my story in these jars that hold the triumphs to my scars. It's a labor in love when I work for free, and it comes with lots of stresses. But if you're like me, just polish those jars and find successes in all your messes.
Listen, you know that was a treat. I haven't even got to that yet. Woo!
No, you didn't.
Let me get my note right now. I need my little note right now. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
The whole book is that delightful.
Thank
so
you
delightful. I know that there's so many pieces in this book that we are definitely going to have to be doing. Like, we may start doing a weekly show to get through this book. Once a week, we're going to have you on to decide, and we can decide what chapter we want to play with, because that's what life is all about, right? These are so many different people's perspectives that we definitely won't leave anybody out. I mean, I just love it. I'm just in awe of what was trapped inside that beautiful soul of yours, and I'm so glad it's coming out.
You helped birth this, so that's day.
So let's see. After we heard of lessons and legacies, we got to see what card
Oh yes, let's do cards.
I am. Because can you believe we're at 55 minutes? Wasn't this the quickest hour of your life?
I know. I could do it all day. I love
All
this. It's my
day.
favorite. I love doing the cards. I love the cards. I play with the kids with the cards all the time, and I love the way that you're doing the daily message with it. And the prayer too.
And the prayer. How you think?
We had a lot of emotion in this one. I can't wait to see what Spirit brings on us today.
Oh my goodness, right? Because we are definitely about to touch and agree right here.
Yeah.
Right here. So let's get this so we can see everything. Here we go.
All right.
So right now we had our special, amazing sister queen on, Miss Melissa Price, sharing the story that she co-wrote with her amazing mom, who through life she learned how to turn their relationship from a lesson into a blessing, right? And so they collaborated on the growth of what it took to come together and recognize that all parts had a special piece. And so today, God, with everybody that's watching, I ask that you would give us an I am card that would definitely reach what it means to have lessons and legacies, and to what accepted in order to become that amazing gift. Like I said, this one right here, I don't know what this one is, but we're going to see what God wants us to know. Oh my God. I am kind. I am kind. And you want to know what is so important about I am kind and how deeply intricated it is in lessons and legacies? Because in order for us to empower, in order for us to infiltrate, it is love. It is the kindness of our energy. It's the kindness of our spirit that allows somebody to say, I will remove my shame and trust you with my story. It is because you entered into with a space of love and peace and just strength in your energy, right? And so to be kind is to make somebody comfortable with you enough to share their lessons so that they can become the legacies of wisdom, so that you won't make the same mistakes they did. And so it is kind of you and your mom and everybody else who decided to show up, to remove the shame and get in their lane, to make their voice matter. It was kind. And so you too are kind. And when you show up in that essence, you remove that hard exterior and you make yourself the absorbent piece that God wanted you to be. And so becoming your magic is recognizing that it's a relay race and somebody is relying on you. And so your kindness comes in a form of knowing who you are, being able to walk in that thing and to get out of that place of feeling traumatic, feeling like you have died, but actually living in the resurrection. And so there's peace and there's kindness in the joy of how you rose from the ashes. And so we celebrate the kind spirit of Melissa because it is her kindness and her ushering that has brought us to this place. It is her kindness that have put her in every room that she dwells in. It is her kindness that feeds each and every one of us. And so I am kind is what God wants you to know about yourself, because this is what love looks like. It is excuse me and thank you. It is please and you're welcome. It is how can I serve you? It is kind to be in service. And you, my dear, are an example of what kind servants look like in this world. And so I know God is celebrating you in this hour as we touch and agree on this being one of the greatest lessons and legacies that we'll ever experience in life. He sent it to you. What a gift it is to know that he chose you that many years ago for a time like today. And thank you for showing up, because so many people we cry about because they didn't show up and who we know they can be. But now we'll celebrate the fact that you did it anyway with no excuses. So we love you, Queen. We thank you for being a part of our Power Hour. We just want you to know that you can never turn on anybody else's light. but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. You have done that, and we are so glad that you showed up with your light on. Come on now. So for everybody about to get those switches, remember, it starts with being kind. It starts with being kind. Nobody knows what you went through. Nobody knows what they did to you. Nobody knows who don't see you. Give somebody else a chance to see you in the kindness and the truth that is you. Don't allow the pain of your scars to jeopardize the kindness that God set in you first. Go back to that pure, innocent child. The reason why we love the children, because they are kind, because they are in their own love. They're in that space. And so we can just usher in that piece of accepting one another through kindness. Oh my God, what this world would be. This has been an amazing Friday. Way to end the Friday out when I say the fireworks. Matter of fact, we must sing our song, honey. I know you want to sing the song. Oh, it might take too long to find it.
Well, just make it a point to be kind to somebody this weekend. But you know what? Before you're kind to somebody else this weekend, be kind to you first.
Come on now. Come on now.
It needs to happen. Be kind to you so you can be kind to others. And oh man, I feel so full.
Don't you feel full?
I'm Abracadabra and everywhere. Thank you.
So all right, you guys, we love you, love you, love you. Melissa, stay in there. I'm just gonna close out. See you in a moment. Mwah. Let me tell you guys, wasn't that an amazing, amazing, amazing hour? I know it is. Brittany, you are right. Bestseller for sure. Bestseller for sure. Let me tell you, it is always a pleasure to share this hour with you. It is always a pleasure to show up in whatever we can, however we can show up in order to hopefully ignite you into those abracadabra moments that will lead you to your magic. So you are magical. It's a relay race and somebody is relying on you. Remember to turn that heartbeat into a soul beat in order to leave a soul print. Because the fingerprint, it tells us what you got wrong in this world. But the soul print, oh my God, it tells us what you got right. So remember, what we got right is the fact that you are a gift from God. So make sure that you show up in the gift that is you, that you show up in the ways that you can only show up. We will see you guys on Monday at 12 p.m. right here on this live. I hope that you are not only walking it out, but you are actually changing your seeds of thought in order to recognize that the magic lies within you. So as always, you are listening to Miss Precious Paulin, the queen of soul-stirring inspiration, the prophetic soul coach and poet. I want you to know that it is my great pleasure to stand in this seat to serve you and to feed you as I have been fed by so many. It is nothing to eat from a plate unless you're willing to make a plate for somebody else. And so because somebody fed me, I show up to feed you. So thank you for all the people that show up and make it possible for us to have the fullness to pour into somebody else. I love, love, love you guys. And as always, remember, you can never turn on anybody else's light, but you can provide enough light for them to find their switch. So stay lit in this world so somebody can find their way out of the darkness. Go to PreciousPaulin.com, get you some books, some programs. Go to iChooseMeBlingBoutique.company.site, get you some amazing gear to wear to make your shine crystal clear. I don't care what abracadabra tools. Please go to lessonsandlegacies.company.site. Get yourself this book. You hear me? Let me tell you something. Knowledge is power, but applied knowledge is transformation. So if you really want to transform, you better change your seeds of thought and get in action for your attraction. Remember, I choose me. Hashtag no more excuses, because you were born enough. See you guys on Monday. I love you. Bye-bye. Take care of those souls.